YouTube? It's your girl Khadijah. I'm back with another video. It is a 12:30 a.m. in the morning. And this was just on my heart. So excuse the bracelets. Unfortunately, I had to go to the hospital. Hence, what was on my heart and why I decided to go ahead and make this video. My last video, I was talking about giving yourself grace. This time, I'm still talking about giving yourself grace, but for those people out there that have a mental illness, the world can make you feel like shit. Let's just be honest. It's all type of stigmas around mental illness, and the word crazy is thrown around a lot. And I can't stand that word. But it's thrown around a lot. And when you have a mental illness, especially when you're honest enough to say, I have a mental illness, people tend to, look at you a different way sometimes, be judgmental when they don't understand your situation. What I try to do is educate the people around me about my mental illness. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Some people just don't want to know, or they just are too narrow-minded or closed-minded to even try to understand what you're going through. Excuse me if you hear my ceiling fan, because it's still really, really hot out here in Texas, so I gotta stay cool, especially with me going to the hospital. And what ended up making me go to the hospital was I knew something was going on with me and my mental illness. I knew I didn't have my medication. So I knew, like I said, something was going on with me, and rather than it get out of hand, I needed to go and at least try to get my medication. And I had an incident at work, and someone pissed me off to the point that I wanted to physically hurt this person. And my best friend was like, I hear the rage. I hear the rage in your voice. Please go to the doctor and get your medicine. And the one thing I will say is, when you have a mental illness, it's not always possible, but if you can have some type of support system, I don't care if it's just one person, have somebody that you can lean on and that is aware of you enough to be able to say, hey, I think you're going through something. Maybe it's time that we get you some help. It is embarrassing. It is humiliating. When I laid in that hospital, what ended up happening, though, was, unfortunately, I went to go get my medicine, and they ended up sending me to the ER because my blood pressure was way too high. I was at stroke level. I was experiencing symptoms of a stroke. So, of course, they rushed me to the ER because they thought I was having a stroke. And I was on the verge of having a stroke. So I was getting all the identifiers of a stroke. Thankfully, they did not keep me. They did give me my medicine, though. They did not keep me, so I got to come home and lay in my bed. But my thing to you out there with mental illness is, if you're feeling off, get some help. Talk to somebody. You cannot, and I have come to understand, I cannot talk to everybody about my mental illness. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean that the people around me don't care about me. It doesn't mean they don't love me. It's just they don't understand. And how can you understand something you've never gone through? So I'm very selective about who I tell when I'm going through something. My best friend definitely is a person I will always go to, because she's known me since I was 4 years old. So this woman knows me damn near inside out. She knows I'm going through something before I even know I'm going through something. But the good thing about it now is I've progressed so much in my healing journey with my mental illness that I understand when I might be experiencing, something going on. And it was so crazy because the night before, I went to the hospital, maybe the night before or maybe 2 nights before, I was sitting here with my family. We were looking at a movie. And the movie was about this woman that was mentally ill. And as we're watching this movie, you know, my sister was making comments and, you know, just normal stuff that you would normally say. Because I was kind of like making comments like, well, she need to go on here and check herself in, go on get that room, go on, you know. And I was so ashamed sitting there because as I'm watching this movie and I'm listening to her and I'm looking at the movie, I'm sitting there like I have what this woman has and I can't tell anybody. At least I didn't feel like I could tell anyone. I didn't feel like they would understand. And I'm like, and I'm experiencing some of the things this woman is going through right now, just not to that severity. And the mind is an incredible thing. And baby, when your mind is not right, nothing else can be right. So I would truly urge anyone out there, when you're going through it, get help. I don't care if you gotta call a hotline. I don't care if you gotta call your mother. I don't care if you gotta call your best friend. I don't care if you gotta call a stranger. Get help. Especially if it's a situation where your mental illness can take you to a place where you can harm yourself or someone else. Get help. And I understand sometimes your mind is like, I don't want to be on medicine and medicine make me feel funny. I don't feel like going through all that. Yeah, I understand all that because I was there and I've been there. But would you rather feel funny from the medicine that will eventually taper off in your system and you'll feel regular? Or would you rather mess around and end up hurting yourself, hurting someone else, possibly being in jail, or ending up in a mental hospital anyway? Give yourself grace and give yourself that peace of mind that it is okay to get help. It doesn't matter what people think. It don't matter what people say about you. You know you. I don't care what people say about me no more. At first I was ashamed, but I'm telling you, when I went to the hospital, I met some amazing people and heard some amazing stories, and I realized how blessed I was and that I did the right thing by going to the hospital to get me help and to get my medication. It just turned out that it took a different turn on my physical health. But your mental health can affect all of that. So if I'm not mentally right, my body's not going to be right. And I have to give myself permission to say, hey, you know what? It's time for me to go get some help. It's time for me. I've been off my meds for a minute. Let me go see what I can do about getting your medication. And it's not always easy when you have mental illness to get your meds and to do what you need to do because there are not a lot of resources. And I truly one day want to be an advocate for better mental health resources out here and better help for people with mental illness. And maybe, hopefully one day to take away some of the stigma. But I just want to come on here and tell you to give yourself permission to get help and give yourself grace through that. And understand it is something you cannot control. People can sit here all day long and say, oh, you can control it. No, they can't. It's not anything you can control. But you can help yourself to get to a place where you are in more control of what is going on. I will say that. I love you guys. I am about to go to bed because I am technically on bed rest. But I just wanted to get that message out. Like I said, I love you guys. Of course, like, comment, subscribe. And I will talk to you guys on the next video.